Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready for our April the 22nd lesson in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students from the original edition, Lesson 112. For morning and evening review, light and joy and peace abide in me, and I am as God created me. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the home of light and joy and peace. I welcome them into the home I share with God because I am part of Him. I am as God created me. I will remain forever as I was, created by the changeless like Himself. And I am one with Him and He with me. On the hour, light and joy and peace abide in me. And on the half hour, I am as God created me. So remember, we're supposed to do 2 5-minute longer practice periods, one as soon as you can get up in the morning or sometime in the morning, and then one in the hour before you go to bed at night. The closer you go to bed, the better, but any time in the last hour would be beneficial to take your longer period, which he's only asking for 5 minutes. He said you can take longer if you'd like. I may be getting rained on, so I'm sprinkling a little bit. I wanted to show you this garden spot here as we're getting ready to turn to our text reading. And what I did is I took this is the favorite tool I use as a garden pick. On a garden pick, what I did on this particular one, if you can see that handle, that was just a piece of oak I just took and just whittled down with the draw knife and put in there. It needs some sanding, but the reason I wanted to show it to you is because that is the favorite tool I use for gardening. You've got the hoe end for loosening up soil and the pick end. I use the pick just to make furrows. Just dragged it along, right along here, and I made a furrow here. I made a furrow here, and I did the same thing on the other side, one there and one over there. So I just made 4 furrows and sprinkled my spinach seed in there, which I planted yesterday. Was the bloomsdale. Had a good rain last night, and then I covered it with compost and left the furrow just kind of open. Kind of hard to tell what I did after the rain, but you know what? I should get some spinach coming up in there. All right, I'm kind of looking forward to it. You know, there's another type of spinach that I want to tell you about. We're going to be reading in chapter 17 of the text. We'll pick up in paragraph 32 of the section Perception and the Two Worlds, which is section 5 of chapter 17, Forgiveness and Healing. So as you're turning there, let me just tell you about this is a type, it's known as a spinach, but it's not a true spinach. Your spinaches are your Spinacia oleracea, and this one is a Tetragonia expansa, and it's called a New Zealand lettuce, and the leaves get real big. And it says of it in the seed, and yesterday I read to you out of the Seed Savers Exchange, and I'm reading to you out of it again today. It says New Zealand's, it says that it, not a true spinach, but this tender perennial, commonly grown as an annual, tastes like spinach, but is slow to bolt, even in hot weather. The strong spreading plants branch freely, and their fleshy leaves are great for fresh summer greens. This historic variety is a good source of vitamin C. It was described in Queen Charlotte Sound, New Zealand, by British botanist Sir Joseph Banks, who sailed with Captain Cook's first voyage to the South Pacific, 1768 to 1771. Seeds are slow to germinate, 50 to 70 days. Not to germinate, doesn't take 50 to 70 days, but it's 50 to 70 day plant before you can harvest. So that's called your New Zealand, the New Zealand. the New Zealand, known as a spinach, but like I said, it's not a true spinach. Okay, let's go take a look in our reading today. And we're just going to read about page, starting in paragraph 32. You have but little difficulty. No, hold on. I told you in the wrong place. We're ready to begin with perception in the two worlds. And we're going to start with that section. God is in paragraph 27. God established his relationship with you to make you happy. God established his relationship with you to make you happy. And nothing you do which does not share his purpose can be real. Wow, isn't that something? It's not even real if it's not happy. The purpose God ascribed to anything is its only function. Because of his reason for creating his relationship with you, the function of relationships becomes forever to make happy, and nothing else. Wow, for the purpose of relationships is to make happy, and nothing else. To fulfill this function, you relate to your creations as God to his. For nothing God created is apart from happiness, and nothing God created but would extend happiness as its creator did. Whatever fulfills this function not cannot be real. In this world it is impossible to create, yet it is possible to make happy. Wow. In this world it is impossible to create, yet it is possible to make happy. We have said repeatedly that the Holy Spirit would not deprive you of your special relationships, but would transform them. And by that, all that is meant is that he will restore to them the function given them by God, which is to extend happiness. The function you have given them is clearly not to make happy. The function you have given to your relationships is clearly not to make happy. But the holy relationship shares God's purpose rather than aiming to make a substitute for it. Every special relationship which you have made is a substitute for God's will and glorifies your will instead of his because of the delusion that they are different. Paragraph 29. You have made very real relationships even in this world which you do not recognize simply because you have raised their substitutes to such predominance that when truth calls to you, as it does constantly, you answer with a substitute. Every special relationship which you have ever undertaken has as its fundamental purpose the aim of occupying your mind so completely that you will not hear the call of truth. Oh, we don't want special relationships to do that. He has a solution, though. In a sense, the special relationship was the ego's answer. Let me turn the page. In a sense, the special relationship was the ego's answer to the creation of the Holy Spirit, who was God's answer to the separation. For although the ego did not understand what had been created, it was aware of threat. Paragraph 30. The whole defense system which the ego evolved to protect the separation from the Holy Spirit was in response to the gift with which God blessed it, and by his blessing enabled it to be healed. This blessing holds within itself the truth about everything. And the truth is that the Holy Spirit is in close relationship with you because in him is your relationship with God restored to you. The relationship with him has never been broken because the Holy Spirit has not been separated or separate from anyone since the separation. The relationship with Him has never been broken because the Holy Spirit has not been separate from anyone since the separation. And through Him have all your holy relationships been carefully preserved to serve God's purpose for you. 31. The ego is hyper alert to threat, and the part of your mind into which the ego was accepted is very anxious to preserve its reason as it sees it. It does not realize that it is totally insane. And you must realize just what this means if you would be restored to sanity. The insane protect their thought system, but they do so insanely. And all their defenses are as insane as what they are supposed to protect. The separation has nothing in it, no part, no reason, and no attribute that is not insane. And its protection, and the word reason and protection are both in quotes here, and its protection is part of it, as insane as the whole. The special relationship, which is its chief defense, must therefore be insane. The last paragraph I think we'll read today, 32. You have but little difficulty now in realizing that the thought system which the special relationship protects is but a system of delusion, or of delusions. You recognized, at least in general terms, that the ego is insane. Yet the special relationship still seems to you somehow to be different. Yet we have looked at it far closer than at many other aspects of the ego's thought system, which you have been more willing to let go. While this one remains, you will not let the others go, for this one is not different. Retain this one, and you have retained the whole. And I think we will stop there for today before I get poured down rain on. Tomorrow we'll pick up on paragraph 33. So let me mark that. And let's go back and take another look at today's review. Light and joy and peace abide in me. I am the home of light and joy and peace. Light and joy and peace abide in us. He says that we're the home of light and joy and peace. I welcome them into the home I share with God because I am part of Him. So being part of God, we share light and joy and peace. And we want that light to lighten up our minds because that's the birthplace of miracles. Vision. Our greatest need now, he says in one place, is vision. So be sure to take those 5-minute reminder in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening or longer. And then throughout the day, on the hour, say, light and joy and peace abide in me. And on the half hour, say, I am as God created me. I am as God created me. I will remain forever as I was. I will remain forever as I was created. Created by the changeless, like Himself. You were created like God. You were created in God's image. And I am one with God, and He with me. I am one with Him, and He with me. I am as God created me. So, light and joy and peace abide in me, and I am as God created me. I wanted to just, tomorrow I hope to show you the potatoes. They're up pretty high, and I'll kind of, tomorrow, the next day, or coming up soon, I'll show you what they're looking like. They get up a little bit higher, and I'll be able to pull a little bit of mulch up under them. And remember, potatoes make their potatoes above what you planted, where the spinach, once it comes up, it'll just grow right here. It turned out that a lot of the plants that I'd put in here, my broccoli and cauliflower, had not actually got eaten up by the, it had got eaten down, but it was able to recover, and quite a few of them. I don't know if you can't really see that one very well. That one right there is coming back up, and what was it? It was our Pac-Man broccoli I'd put in the ground. Now I've got some broccoli and cauliflower along here. There's another one right here, and it looks like several of them made it. So and I've got a little peppermint coming up, some wild, it's right over there, which I like to leave a little, and I got some comfrey coming up beside it. Let's see if you can see my comfrey. See that comfrey right there? Little blue flowers, looking nice. Anyway, okay, since it's not raining, I thought, well, I'll take just another minute since we got done a little early. I wanted to say one more thing about this tool. Like I said, the garden pick is a little lighter weight pick than a regular miner's type pick. And they work really good in the garden, I think. Now, I needed a handle for this one. And like I said, I just took a piece of oak and whittled it down. I haven't sanded it yet, so that's kind of a problem. But I'm just making sure it's good and dry. And then I'll just get some real rough sandpaper and just put it in my hand and go over it. Make it a little more useful. And then after it dries completely, I usually cut the stub off. But anyway, that doesn't have to be a difficult project to make. Whittle it down with a pocket knife if you have to, hatchet, or a draw knife, something to whittle it down. Now it is starting to rain. Thank you so much for joining me out here on this wet April 22nd. And remember, light and joy and peace abide in you. Light and joy and peace abide in me. And I am as God created me. I am as God created me. Just wanted to be sure I was telling you right. Until tomorrow, light and joy and peace abide in me. I am as God created me.